Hi, I'm Chris Ripper. I've written over 50 books. You would think at this point I'd know exactly how to plot one, right? Let me start by saying the plotters versus pantsers thing is a false dichotomy. Everyone is doing both of those things. If they are both sort of on a scale, your levers are just going to be slightly different. Some people are doing more plotting with their hands, on paper, on a whiteboard, in index cards, whatever, and some people are doing less plotting with their hands. But we're all doing some amount of plotting before we write. Stephen King, famous pantser, doesn't get to the end of the book without having any idea what's coming next. That's not a thing. Human brains are wired for story and for patterns. Your brain is always looking for stories and patterns, including in that new brilliant idea you just had. I've written a lot of books. I have probably used every tactic known to humankind in order to get from point A to point B. Point A and point B being the beginning and the end, but obviously in any given first draft, these may not be the same point A and point B that you end up with in your final draft. That's just writing. My mom always says of knitting, if you ain't ripping, you ain't knitting. And it's the same with writing. If you're not deleting things and rewriting them, you're probably not that serious about writing. This is not a how-to video. I don't have a brand new, fantastic way to plot the next bestseller that I've done a template for that you can download and use. I have downloaded all of those templates. I've already done that. I have read the books. I have made my own templates. I have spreadsheets. I have Word documents. I have Scrivener things that I guess are templates also. Eventually, what I have come to, what you will likely come to if you write fiction in any sort of repetitive manner, is that books and stories need different things. They don't all need the same thing, or at least mine do not all need the same thing. I came up with this idea for this video because, of course, I was procrastinating writing an outline for a book. This is a book for which I have already written many outlines. I have written an entire first draft. It's long. It's publishable length. Is it a publishable book? That sort of depends on your outlook. For this specific book, I have done Save the Cat. I have done Goal, Motivation, Conflict. I have done Writing from the Middle. I have done so many things for this book. And ultimately, it got me a draft that I am not satisfied with. So we're taking it down to studs and we're doing it all over again. I like this process because I feel like it makes me a better writer. I am a better writer for having made mistakes than I am for the very, very, very few books that come out pretty much done the first time. Very few. 2. There's been 2. And I've written a lot of books. That's 2 across all of the unpublished and published works. And Lord knows there's a lot of unpublished works. So I guess what I'm saying is if you are also a writer, if you are an author, if you've been published, if you've not been published, if you finished a book, if you haven't finished a book. Essentially, I think the way to get to how to do a thing is to do that thing over and over and over again. There was a study, I do not remember what it is. If I was more responsible, a YouTuber, I would find it and cite it for you. There's a study about photography students. And in this photography class, there were 2 groups, one of which was to do X number, many pictures, and have a portfolio with many pictures by the end of the semester. And the other group was supposed to just have one really good photo by the end of the semester. And of course, what they found is that repetition, doing the same thing over and over again, you are building things in your brain even if you're not aware you're building them. You're building your eye if you're a photographer. You're building your understanding of light and contrast and all of these different things, highlights and shadows, how to frame things, how to focus on things, how to draw the eye to things. And that is a skill that you must practice in order to develop it. And writing books is the same way in my experience. Hopefully you will not have to write 13 entire novels before you hit one that you think is probably publishable, like some of us did. me. But in general, broad strokes, it's the same. Keep doing it. Keep practicing. Plot every different way. If you can afford to buy yet another writing book, fuck it. Buy it. Write it off on your taxes if you're a professional. If you're not a professional, chalk it up to an educational expense. If you can get it out of the library, even fucking better. Watch all the videos, download all the templates, play with them. Even if you get nothing out of it, your brain is getting something out of it. For the book that I have been trying to plot for months, literal months, that's literal months, came up with a new idea for it in November. It is now, as I record this, February. It has been on my list of things to do in the top 3 every week since the beginning of this year. And eventually, after trying everything, again, all the things, have a big whiteboard, wrote out everything, got magnets, put up index cards. I have tried all the things. And essentially what broke it free this time, what broke the back of this particular outline, was telling a friend I was struggling with it, and my friend saying, oh, send it to me. She hasn't even read it as I'm recording this. But the idea that I just needed to get enough of the book on the page in some kind of readable format for another person, I just did it. All of that book has been sitting in my head for months. This is the thing that broke it free. That's not a thing that happens with every book. I generally do not have people who are saying, hey, just send me your ideas and I'll figure out what you're doing wrong. But every now and then, the new novel thing is the thing that breaks your brain free. So just wanted to do a video for all of my fellow struggling ass writers who are trying to plot the brilliant idea that they've had, that they want to read, that they know they can write. Try all the things. Trying all the things is better than sitting and thinking, wow, I should be able to do this. There is also time when you can just sit with an idea and let it percolate in the back of your head. But there's a fine line between doing that forever and doing that and coming up with a book at the end. Ask Darwin. I think it took him 14 years to write on the origin of species. In any case, I am Chris Ripper. You can find me in all the usual places. Links will be in the description. There's no Blakey in this video. She's asleep. It's cold. If you want to support my work, you can buy my books or you can visit my Patreon. Join it for free, hang out, do all the things. Bye.